How's it going? How's it going?
What's happening?
How are you?
Good. Oh, pretty good.
Doing
How
all
about you?
right? Doing well. Merry Christmas. Late Merry Christmas.
Yep. Have a good Christmas.
I had a pretty good Christmas. Wasn't
Excellent.
too bad. Got to spend a lot of time with the family.
Always important.
Always good stuff. We are Talking Interference Sports. I'm Nick.
I'm Eric.
And we are brought to you in partnership with the Game Changer Sports Network. If you're not aware of them, go check out their Facebook. Go look at their website. They have amazing articles that get written on their website and on their Facebook. And they take us on to talk about some sports with them. And the NFL Addiction Facebook page is gracious enough to promote us as well. If you like discussing NFL, they've got a ton of people on their Facebook on a thread format. So if you want to go talk about how awesome the Steelers are doing, you can post about it on their Facebook page and people will kindly give you a response. Also, if you're in the Everett area and you drink coffee, go see Dulcie at Tabby's Coffee. They're attached to the library out there. Let her know that you heard about her or heard about her from us, Talking Interference Sports, and you'll get a discounted coffee. So, anyway, let's pop right into it.
Okay.
How are you feeling about last week? Anything pop out at you that was pretty fantastical to talk about?
You know, honestly, I did a whole lot of running around this past week. So
it is the holidays.
My ability to just sit down and watch football
was kind of hindered.
Limited, to say the very least.
Okay.
But I did watch a few of the games, so
all right.
Nothing really popped out at me, right out of the gate.
Right.
To talk about, but definitely an interesting week, and an interesting week to come with nobody is really out, and every team is playing for something. I mean, pretty much, not obviously.
Right. The NFC was pretty I wouldn't say it was set in stone, but for the most part, the NFC was these guys are in the playoffs or in this type of a position.
Sure.
And especially after last week, it's definitely a little bit more solidified. The NFC still has quite a bit of people that can or cannot make it, or roughly can be in the position of making it.
And
then the NFC,
a lot of teams are still playing for the home field advantage, and are they going to be second or fourth seed or
Right. The Saints clinched the home field advantage last week.
Right, but I was thinking
talking about beforehand.
Specifically, I think I know it's the AFC, but the Chiefs, if they lose and I think Minnesota wins or something like that, then they're not guaranteed home field advantage anymore.
I'm pretty sure
it has to go through San Diego. Not San Diego.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
I'm pretty sure
it was something like that.
Saints clinch home field advantage in the NFC playoffs. So yeah, it's a lock for them now. But before that, I think the Saints needed to lose, and I think with the Rams winning, and then something about the Eagles was tied into that as well.
Yeah, and there's a bunch more of that this coming weekend too. And I don't know, that part of football doesn't really interest me.
Right.
So,
guys, if you are unaware, we are live on 3 different channels this week. So if you are watching us on the Game Changer, or you're watching us on NFL Addiction and you're trying to have a conversation with us, apologize, but we are focused on the Talk Interference Sports Facebook page, and I'm trying to pull up extra videos so that you guys can be included as well. But yeah, so I think with the Saints being like a lock-in for home field advantage, how does that bode well for the Seahawks? Do they play the Cowboys? Do you think they're going to end up playing the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think that was one of the things I heard discussed is that it's not for sure, but it's pretty certain that the playoffs for the Seahawks will be going through Dallas, not Chicago, which at first I thought would be Dallas would be the harder of the teams for the Seahawks, but after the past couple of weeks, I'm kind of glad it's going to Dallas.
Yeah, the Bears have been looking pretty stout.
Yeah.
I read because the Bears win 11 games in a season since 2010, man. How crazy is that? 2010.
Man, the Bears have not been good for a long time.
It's been a little while since they've been pretty good.
I mean, they haven't been Browns bad, but they've been disappointing.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think a lot of that had to do with Jay Cutler.
I totally agree with that. I was surprised last season to see that was him that got signed by the Miami Dolphins last year, right?
It was, yes.
Surprised that happened, man. The guy's not a horrible quarterback, but he's not.
He's a good. Well, he's an okay quarterback, but he just sees a football and he's like, my ankle.
Okay, all right. The ground is injuries.
The ground is indeed injuries for that guy.
Okay. Well, the Titans beat the Redskins, making them 6-1 at home this season. Do you think for the Redskins that this kid Josh Johnson is going to be the next QB of the season if Cousins does not come back from this leg injury, suffering from an infection after the surgery? He went 13 for 23, 153 yards with 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. How do you feel about that?
I think he's worth giving a shot.
I think it's a better option than Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, but I mean, look at some of these other quarterbacks. I mean, how long is Jacksonville going to stick with Blake Bortles?
Actually, Jacksonville announced today that they were going to be starting Blake Bortles next week after benching him for the last couple weeks. So,
well, there's that.
I haven't figured that one out completely yet.
Yeah, I don't know. But at some point, I mean, you got to have someone else out there that you can trust, and and these guys have to get playing time too. So
right.
Yeah, it's rough right now, but if he's learning and getting better,
I don't dislike Blake Bortles, but he's not a very, I don't know how to put this. He's not a great quarterback, but he's not like bad.
Well, I mean,
I don't think he's bad.
All right, but okay, you're not bad. Are you just gonna, if you're the coach or owner or whatever committee for an NFL team, are you just gonna settle for mediocrity?
I don't think that's the case. Hey, Nick, I called the Seahawks over the Chiefs. Nice try, Nick. Hey, you know what? I will sit here and be the first person to tell you I was wrong. I don't know. Man, the Seahawks have been pretty damn inconsistent this whole season, man. I feel like every single time I pick against them, they just totally smash and dominate.
So don't pick the Seahawks again. That's what
Yeah, right? And then, see, that's the thing. Is I bet on the Seahawks to win. I put money on the Seahawks to win this week.
All right, so tell the people that Arizona's going to win. And then
Arizona's going to win. Arizona's winning. And we're going to that game. Well, you're not going, but I'm going to that game. I'm going with wifey.
I'll be drinking at home.
Hey.
Watching it on TV.
I will not be anywhere near where a camera will be. But But yeah, so you're totally right, man. The Seahawks did pull it off. The inconsistency with the team surprises the hell out of me because I was really doubting the defense more so than I was doubting the offense. And it wasn't that I don't think the Seahawks defense isn't good. I didn't think they were good enough to keep Kansas City's high-octane offense at bay. And it was. Still put up over 30 points, but the Seahawks kept up. And I think that's mostly because the Chiefs' defense is bad.
It's terrible.
It's pretty bad.
It's not bad. It's god-awful.
God-awful. So
a friend of mine, he posted that he tipped over a dumpster and the Chiefs defense fell out.
Oh, jeez.
And he's a Chiefs fan.
Damn. So, again, I'm going to keep saying it throughout the show just because this is the first time we've done it. I've tried to cross-point 3 different channels. I believe we are live on NFL Addiction, and I believe we are live on our own page and Game Changer Sports Network. So if anybody is watching on the 2 channels that are not ours, all of the views will be seen on there, but your comments will not be seen. So if you guys want to come talk to us, you can come over to our page and talk to us, and everybody wins. So the only team that stands in Seattle's way is New Orleans. Well,
that's a bold comment.
That's a bold comment, you say, huh? I honestly kind of don't disagree with it. But the only reason why I do disagree with it is because the team that stands in the way of the Seahawks the most is the Seahawks themselves. Because if they come into the playoffs playing against Dallas and they play like they played against the 49ers, you're out. You can't do that against the Cowboys.
No, I totally agree.
The Saints are a great team. The Chiefs are, I wouldn't say a great team, but they put up enough points to be a great team if their defense was a little bit more stout.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks are pretty consistent around the board with their offense being good and their defense being good, but the inconsistency and the lack of discipline with the penalties is what's going to kill them in the playoffs. If they play good, disciplined football and play like everybody is a team next week, I'll feel better about it going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and
you can't piss away this game with the Cardinals away.
No, that's definitely a game Seahawks need to win. Just like it was a couple weeks ago with the 49ers, and it's like that's a team that the time they did beat the 49ers, at the time it was kind of like, a shit or get off the pot moment for the Seahawks, and it was like, here's a bad team, you need to beat them, and you need to beat them by a lot.
Right.
And that's what they did. And this game against Arizona is the same thing. They need to show people that they're not the Seahawks that gets 14 penalties and gives up, 180 yards, 176 yards, 75 yards, whatever it was, in penalties.
It was 149. I made a big deal
more than that.
I made a big deal about it because I was like, oh my gosh, their penalties were almost as much as the yards that they got that game.
Right.
Baldwin stepping up big finally. I don't even know if it's Baldwin not stepping up big. He's been injured pretty much the whole season.
I wouldn't say finally. He's been injured.
He's been on and off the field
and honestly,
all season.
He's been
good like when he's on the field.
Yeah, but it always seems like he's rushing back. Like he's like, 75%, and he's like, oh, I could play. I'm going to play. And then he gets, a little bit injured, and then he's out for the next 2 games. So,
and that's fine. This Moore kid, other than earlier in the season when he had that pass that was right in his breadbasket and he dropped it, the guy's been pretty consistent for me. I'm all right with him. I got no qualms with that.
Yeah, but I mean, we've also seen
they cut Brandon Marshall. We're not lacking in the wide receiver department with Doug Baldwin being injured.
no.
Tyler Lockett's a beast.
Oh yeah, and he's stepped up huge since Baldwin's been injured.
Yo, and I like Ed Dixon. Ed Dixon was doing excellent. The tight end was doing excellent last game. He's been looking good. Big fan of that guy. Yeah, so the wide receiver, people who catch the ball for the Seahawks, I'm not too worried about it with and or without Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin being there elevates them more so than him being out brings them down, if that makes sense. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Him being out doesn't hurt them as much as him being in, that it elevates them. Hopefully that comes across. That's just my opinion on that, though. This is just my thought process. How do you feel about that?
I'm not sure how to word it any better than that because that was a bit confusing. But dude's got sticky hands. But so are a lot of other people out there. So that's a good receiving core without him. And with him, I mean, Jesus.
I think, honestly, if you really think about it, like Tyler Lockett is a great wide receiver for us in Seattle. I don't know how well he would flourish other places, and I definitely don't want to sit here and consider him an all-star wide receiver or a Hall of Fame wide receiver caliber. He's definitely not
I wouldn't say
on the
that
level
either.
of – I mean, Doug Baldwin, honestly, like I can look at other receivers in the league, and I could probably name 10 more that are better than him. Still a phenomenal wide receiver. He's not in my top 10 of the league right now, though.
Not this year.
Not this year, but he has in years past, definitely, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what was it? Maybe it wasn't last year. I think it was a year or two ago.
He's been a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, and I think it was 3 years ago. It's an ancient history when it comes to sports, but the Wilson to Baldwin connection had a higher completion rate than Tom
Anybody
Brady
else in the league.
Gronkowski, I think, was number 2.
Yep.
And I mean, if you can compete with that combination,
he was in the Pro Bowl. He was in the Pro Bowl last year too. NFL receiving touchdown leader in 2015 as well. Hey, you know what? I might stand corrected when I say that. Now that I look at his stats here, I mean, he's a phenomenal wide receiver. I love Doug Baldwin. I'm not saying anything negative about Doug Baldwin, but there are just better receivers out there. The wide receiver core that Seattle has is good for Seattle. Toxic, just lurking, showing some love. It's Dom. Love you. Good fan. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. I'm trying not to ignore the guys on Twitch. We are live on Twitch too, guys. You guys can always check us out on Twitch as well. Rictorshoue, S-H-O-U-E, not S-H-O-E. It's because I'm a weirdo like that. But it's all
I
good.
can't spell for shit anyway.
Yeah, so Doug Baldwin, the year they won the one, I think it was. I don't know what that. I think you typed that all funky.
No, it wasn't.
The year the one, I think it was.
He's talking about the year they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, they won the Super Bowl. No, so
no, it was not. It was
2015. The Super Bowl that they won was in. It was not 2018, bro.
12.
Click this one. 2000 and.
13?
I'm looking at it, looking for it.
We should really know this.
We should. I think It was 2013.
There we go.
Yeah, it was 2013. Okay. Sorry that took so long for us to figure that out. But yeah, 2013. And he was the NFL touchdown leader the year that you were talking about, that they had the
that was the
Doug
year,
Baldwin connection with Russell Wilson.
right? And that was the year after they lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots.
Yes. 2015, he was tied with Allen Robinson for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Brandon Marshall for the Jets, and Doug Baldwin for the Seahawks at 14 touchdowns. That's where it was. Yep. All right. So the more you know. But like I was saying, the wide receiver core for them is good for Seattle. Is good for Seattle. Hey Jake, I see you in here. Am I live on the Game Changer Sports Network? I'm trying to cross point. I just want to make sure that it's live on that channel as well. But yeah, so like I was saying, the Seahawks, the inconsistency, the penalties, I'm going to judge solely based off of the way the Seahawks play on Sunday against the team that they don't have to beat them. Clearly, they're in the playoffs, but this shows their discipline.
Yeah, it'd be I don't know what you call it, a show of force.
Yeah, show me that you're not. Show me that you're not just coughing this game up. It says that we're not. So unless you already moved to Twitch, no. Okay, hold on one second. So it's not showing up on. You're watching it on. No, man, you're watching it on Talk Interference Sports. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. All right. Should we shut it down and then pop it back over to? We're at 5 right now, though. All right. Are we on the Game Changer Sports Network?
That's what Devin says he's watching it on.
Okay. Now I'm all kind of like backpedaling. It seems like we are. Here, talk about your boxing.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say. All right. So, in case anyone missed it, there was a featherweight match in England over the weekend. It was on ESPN. It's Josh Warrington versus Carl Frampton. And Josh Warrington wins. He defends his IBF world title. And he also, in that victory, claimed Frampton's WBO interim title. And he won by a unanimous victory. Okay, hold on. Okay, so Josh Warrington is now 28-0 with 6 knockouts, and he could be fighting for the world title in 2019, but he needs to face at least one more, or he has to have at least one more unification fight against a rival world champion or contender. Frampton, he's 26-2 now with 15 knockouts. He's a 2-time world champion, and he was trying to go for his 3rd, but with this loss, that sets him back quite a ways against for going against. Oh, I wrote his name down. Oh, here we go. With Leo Santa Cruz, Mexican fighter, and he's been burning it down.
Okay.
Got it squared away.
Yeah, so apologize for that. Apparently, it did not work for the cross pointing, so I need to figure that out. I'm having technical difficulties on my end of sharing with multiple channels, but we're live on my phone on the Game Changer Sports Network now, and we are live over here on Talk Interference Sports. So let's get back to our Seahawks discussion here.
Okay.
Where were we leaving off? The wide receiver core is the discipline. If they don't end up getting freaking Dennis, how's it going?
What's going on, man?
If we don't end up getting, I want to say maybe even 5 penalties. 5 is too much for them to show that we're about to go into the playoffs. And if we're having issues with doing that, if we're having issues with the Cardinals and we're getting penalties, how is that going to look against the Cowboys in Dallas?
Totally.
Dallas plays good in Dallas.
I agree that the Seahawks shouldn't get more than 5 penalties against Arizona, but they have also been averaging a little over 7 penalties a game.
You can't do that against a team like Dallas. You can't do that against a team like New Orleans.
Okay, you say that, but how many years did we watch Michael Bennett jump off sides 2-3 times a game?
I agree with that.
For 5 years?
I agree with that.
And that's a guy he's a good player. But
I'm just saying
come on, man. Damn it.
The lack of the discipline of the wide receiver, the lack of the discipline of the offensive line is what's specifically what I'm talking about. Because if the offensive line keeps getting them back 3rd down and 20, 3rd down and 15, 17, if it's past 10 yards and it's 3rd down, that's an issue that you can't really overcome every single drive against a playoff team.
Right.
That's going to be an issue. Oh, man, Dennis
absolutely.
is my – Devin, that's crazy. Don't be surprised if Baldwin and Lockett don't get to play much time this weekend. I wouldn't be surprised either, but as I was saying, this isn't a throwaway game for them. Obviously, it doesn't have any weight or bearing on whether or not they make it into the playoffs. But they really need this game to show people that they're more consistent.
And I think that Seattle is. I don't believe that they can move up a spot in the playoffs. I think where they at is where they're at.
I think, honestly, I'm not 100%
they're
positive.
Number 5.
I think they can go down.
They can go down to number 6 if they lose and if Minnesota wins or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know the complete stipulations of it. I know they can go down. They're not out of the playoffs, but they're not the last seed right now.
Yeah,
and they can be.
Right, and then they have to go to Chicago, I think.
Right. And I think Chicago would be a worse matchup for them than Dallas.
I do now. I didn't at first, but I do now.
Absolutely. This year isn't new. They've been doing this for the last 4 seasons. Holding calls isn't going away. I'm not worried about if Fetty's around. Okay. I'm not so worried
and it
about
goes way before
Fetty. Yeah, he's way before Fetty.
Yeah.
But I'm
let's be honest here.
I'm more concerned about false starts or what was there was one not too long ago that I was like, really? I can't remember what it was. I apologize. But there was one that happened.
What game was it against?
It was against the 49ers. So it was one that I was like, really? We're getting flagged for this? Now, I can't remember what it was because it was a few weeks ago. But
Was the offensive holding?
no, because they get offensive holding pretty regularly.
I know, but it was just that one against Tyreek, not Tyreek Hill.
The thing is, and we've talked about it on the show before, Russell Wilson moves out of the pocket so much, the holding calls are inevitable because when you're an offensive lineman and you've learned how to play offensive line, you have learned how to block for somebody who passes in the pocket.
Right.
Russell Wilson does not stay in the pocket. So when he's running, you're breaking your angles that you've set up and you've learned for years how to set up and do. And playing for a quarterback like Russell Wilson makes it hard. Don't use it as an excuse. Get better at it.
Yeah. And I know it's the same freaking thing from every Seattle fan that the offensive line is garbage ever since they won the Super Bowl. Well,
they had the highest paid offensive line
exactly
when they won the Super Bowl. The highest.
So
and when they left or the season after that, the cap that happened or the gap that happened in the salary pay of the offensive line was so big that they were like the 30th or 28th or something like that highest paid from like one to literally the worst.
Yeah. And then what was it, the year after that? Then they got rid of
Unger?
Yeah, Max Unger for
Jimmy Graham. Then it went down even worse.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
they
can't
got rid
even
of they got rid of Kuhn, they got rid of
what is the
Browner,
tell me-
which now is a pretty good deal.
well, he's on defense, but
Well, I know, but they got rid of a lot of people from
Right.
that team, is what I'm saying.
just tell me right now, you know who Max Unger is because he's that good of a center. He's
Yeah.
a beast at center.
He's still that good of a center.
He is. Who's the center for the Seahawks right now? I don't know.
I can see his face.
I really don't know.
We just got him back, I think.
I don't have an answer for that. That's what I'm trying to get at. I knew who Max Unger was because he's
white dude.
because he's freaking really, really good. I don't know who he is this year. Offensive lineman, their center, Jean-Pierre.
Oh, not who I was thinking of. No, that's 2015.
Oh, okay. Skirt. Center, Hunt. Joey Hunt. Where'd this guy come from? Freaking Target?
I don't know, man. He was probably playing with his
He was
kids
drafted-
down at the...
He was drafted 6th in the 2016 NFL draft by the Seahawks. That's all I'm saying. Yo, Turo, thanks for showing up, dude. Haven't heard from you in a long time, man. I hope you're doing good. 12 men in the huddle, great against the 49ers. I totally agree with that, brother. Sweezy. It's not Sweezy. Turo, man, I hope you're good. Brian, right, but Affetti is the cancer. Dude, Affetti is I don't think he's cancer. I think he's a young kid that they got off the streets and they're trying to mold him into something he can be. And he has issues, yes, but I can definitely see from the first time I saw him play to now that there's a growth. For sure. Most definitely.
And we're not
Stanley,
talking about
go Hawks.
soccer,
Thank
Devin.
you. We're not talking about soccer. Browner's in jail now. Justin Britt, I don't know. Britt is a Pro Bowler. What the you talking about it. Pierre isn't in there. Yeah, we made that mistake. It's okay. Yeah, got a shutout. Miss you guys. Miss you too, man. Hope you're good. Go Hawks. Go Hawks. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. I think it's going to show us really what kind of the team that they want to be in the playoffs. And if they don't show up and show out to this Arizona Cardinals game and they get blown out at home like they did against the 49ers in San Francisco, we're going to have an issue in the playoffs. I know if they lose to the Cardinals, we're not beating the Cowboys.
Yeah, but
I'm still picking the Seahawks.
Don't know. You're going to pick the goddamn Cardinals.
Oh, I'm picking the Cardinals, but I'm betting on the Seahawks.
There you go. Yeah, but maybe if the Seahawks, maybe if they lose to Arizona, then Russell Wilson could be in the Pro Bowl with Aaron Rodgers.
Who cares about the Pro Bowl? I mean, seriously,
I know,
Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be in the Pro Bowl. But
it just pisses me off. But
I agree. I totally agree. The fact that Aaron Rodgers is in the Pro Bowl this year,
he got his head coach fired.
That's some dirty stuff going on, man.
Collusion.
Anyway,
it's probably talk Putin, man.
We can talk more
Tampering.
about the Hawks here in a little while, but let's move on to some of the rest of the stuff that happened in the league.
All right,
and then we'll start popping into our picks.
Okay.
All right. So the Ravens held the Chargers to 198 yards. It was the fewest they've had since 2014. Off day for the Bolts. Or is the Ravens defense just that good? Are the Chargers overrated?
Man, I think in the last couple of weeks, I think the Ravens might be that good.
I think the Ravens defense is that good as well. I think the Chargers are a good team this year because, I like what I saw against Kansas City. That was phenomenal, and that's what I've been talking about all season. I was like, Chargers are a dark horse. They lose to the Ravens. The Ravens have a good defense, and their quarterback right now is not Joe Flacco, so you got less game film to work with. If you're a better team, that shouldn't be an excuse, but legit, that could be an argument.
Well, and what was everyone bitching about? What was that 2 years ago when Carolina had
That's true, too. No Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon was out as well.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about that.
But, everyone was like, oh, that was the most boring Super Bowl I've ever seen between the Broncos and the Panthers. But you had a good defense getting shut out by a great defense.
Right.
And I didn't watch that game, but
defense wins games, man.
The Chargers have a great offense. The Ravens have a great defense.
Right. Okay, so moving on. Dennis, you should watch these guys, my friends from Washington State. Melvin Gordon screwed my fantasy team. Sorry to hear that, Devin. You should have kept with James Conner. Oh, wait, he got injured too. Just kidding, man. Just kidding, dude. The Colts win barely over the Giants, making the Colts 8 out of 9 when they started the season 1-5. What a turnaround. Is Luck the most improved quarterback of the season? Give me your thoughts on that.
I don't think he's the most improved. I think he's always been a good quarterback.
A bounce back from a couple years ago when we were talking. He's been injured. I get it.
Yeah, he broke his freaking neck and had to learn how to walk again or whatever the hell happened to him.
I get it, but isn't that quite the little story here? We were at 1-5.
Yeah, it's some real remember the Titans shit, but if you've ever doubted Andrew Luck's ability,
then I think you have some issues. Yeah, for sure.
And if you doubted it before the season, I think you had issues too.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
I mean, that guy's a good quarterback. He's finally healthy, and he's back to business, and he's back to doing what he does best. And that's throw freaking touchdowns.
Wilson is the most improved. Same draft class. Wilson been 2 Super Bowls. Wilson is my favorite player. I agree with that. No Luck was hurt for 2 years. It was 2 years.
It was 2 years.
Yes.
And yeah, if I had
was
to
that
pick
Jacoby
quarterbacks,
Brissett? It was Brissett playing for them for a little while. But yeah, go ahead.
if I had to pick quarterbacks as most improved from being drafted to this point right now, sure, I would pick Russell Wilson. But
I was talking about just like if you look
I
at
thought
it.
that was a comment that
it
came
was.
in.
It was. But I was talking about it just kind of like looking at it from like at the beginning of this season to where we're at today.
No, I think we're seeing a guy who hasn't played consistently or at all in the past 2 years, and it took him some time to get his confidence back, to be able to trust his body, trust that shoulder again, and whatever other little injuries or big injuries that maybe we didn't hear about were going on, and just getting the mechanics down again.
It's been a little bit. All right, so check this one out. The Jags started the season at 3-1. And me personally, I thought they were going to have such a better season. Winning this week against the Dolphins, they now have only lost or won 2 of their last 11 games. How do you feel about that? We're looking back a little bit. 2 of their last 11 games. What happened there? Blake Bortles, dude. He's not a bad quarterback, but it's either he doesn't fit in this scheme or he's a bad quarterback.
Man, I honestly don't know because I don't pay attention to the Jaguars.
Okay.
And I don't know enough about how they want to set their offense up to know whether it's an offensive line problem, whether it's a Blake Bortles problem, whether it's a play calling problem. I don't know. But yeah, there's something in there it just isn't working. And obviously that's obvious to everyone else.
That's the big issue. That's not working for me. This is better. Yeah, so I mean, it just sucks for Jaguars fans. I just kind of wanted to point that out, that they started out 3-1.
Oh, absolutely.
And then
all my Jacksonville friends.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'll pour some out for you, man. But goddamn.
The Panthers lost, but they lost against the Falcons, but Christian McCaffrey, that dude is going off. He sets the most receptions for a running back in a single season NFL history last week. The guy's a beast, man.
That dude is a beast.
He is crazy good. I like watching this guy play, especially when he was playing against Seattle. I was like, is there anybody else even on the field? This guy was running all over the place.
Yeah.
And
they lost that game, but it wasn't due to his effort.
No, definitely not. Browns win again and complete a sweep with Cincinnati in a single season for the first time. They beat Cincinnati 2 times this season for the first time since 2002.
Nice job, Cleveland.
I like it. Is it because of Baker Mayfield, or is it because it's a complete turnaround of the team?
No, I think it's because, well, yeah. I mean, you have Baker Mayfield, and I think he's a more confident quarterback. But, yeah, also you have Landry and
Jarvis Landry is really good.
He's really good.
Yo, Nick Chubb is so underrated. Why did that man not make the Pro Bowl?
I don't know.
Chubb should have been in the Pro Bowl.
He leads the league in yards after contact.
Chubb.
I think he has like 3.7 yards after contact. Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, man.
Dennis and Devin are going at it. You guys have the comments. I'm not going to go back in there and read it. But when I see something that is a little bit relevant to what we're talking about, I'll pop off on it. But they're having the Russell Wilson, Andrew Luck debate right now. And I love it. I love it. Cowboys clinched NFC South for the first time since 2016. I kind of saw this was going to happen when Cousins went down with the leg injury. But I really was hoping Washington would pull it off this year.
Yeah, I mean,
for the Seahawks' sake, if it was Washington, I think Seattle could have beat.
They probably could have.
Washington.
They probably would have had it
even if it was in Washington.
Yeah,
easier time with Washington than Dallas.
Dallas, yes.
Yeah. Damn.
Although,
with Kirk Cousins in, they were a little bit better of a team. For sure.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you had a much better quarterback than, some guy that, they pulled a Seahawks trick and they're like, hey, I know you're having the middle of a family picnic, but you want to be our quarterback next weekend?
Right. It's been a rough start. Baker's doing what he's done best, he says. Hey, and she's right. That dude goes out there and he plays with – I hate when people say like, oh, he plays with swag, but like he goes out there and he plays with the way he plays, and it looks good.
And let's not forget, I mean, very, very few people can do what Russell Wilson did and take away the starting quarterback job in the preseason. Okay? He's a college quarterback who's learning how to play in the NFL. And, yeah, he's thrown, an interception or two in pretty much every game. But he's learning how to compete with the big boys. And he doesn't have someone there to show him the ropes. He's not an understudy like Aaron Rodgers was for Brett Favre.
That's true.
Not like Jimmy Garoppolo was with Tom Brady. He's learning this all by playing games.
Right.
So, yeah, it's kind of fun to joke about, but at the end of the day, man, that's some talent.
I absolutely
to step in there and just be like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. I did see a comment in here that said injured Baldwin is better than Indy's whole receivers. Half of Indy's receivers. I would, honestly, I love Doug Baldwin. But I'll trade you Doug Baldwin for T.Y. Hilton any day. Any day of the week. Any day of the week. Just saying. Even T.Y. Hilton right now. Not even when he was younger. I'll still trade you. T.Y. Hilton is consistent. Doug Baldwin has had injury issues, but great wide receiver. I just think T.Y. Hilton's better. Just going to go at that. At the end of the day, man, you guys go at it all the time. I love it. Keep it up. I enjoy it. So, Vikings win over the Lions. Nothing really important happened in that game. Pats win their 10th consecutive division title. I don't care if you hate TB12, bro, or the Pats as a whole organization. That's impressive.
That is.
No matter how you slice it.
And
even
I'm just gonna throw this out there. As much crap as I might talk about the Patriots and Tom Brady, it's not because I hate the organization or their quarterback. It's because they beat
The Seahawks.
our Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's
Touch me in the no square.
It's the same reason why I will never
Like
root
the
for
Steelers.
the Steelers.
Yep.
Exactly.
Touch me in the no square.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
No. And I'm not. And you know what? If we're going to talk about that game, I'm going to talk about something else that's been bugging the shit out of me for the last couple weeks. Stop blaming your team's losses on the referees.
I don't care
Okay?
what team you're on.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. Whoever the worst team in the NFL is now, you can't blame your team's losses on the referees.
I
Okay?
hate reading that in threads, dude.
It's stupid.
It's annoying.
I will sit here as a Seattle fan and tell you that Seattle lost that 49ers game because of stupid, sloppy play.
Because it was undisciplined football.
It wasn't because the referees, called a tight game, which they did. But that's not the reason they lost.
They lost because they played undisciplined.
Stop it. That bugs the crap out of me.
So there's a radio station that you listen to that
I do?
that has Pete Carroll on every Monday after the game.
Oh, 710.
I wasn't trying to be like, oh, but
sorry. Not 710.
7-Eleven. I'll get a slushie. Somebody looking out at 7-Eleven watching this. But Pete Carroll's on Pete Carroll's always on that show every Monday, and they get interviewed. And the day after that game, Pete was like, "We just played stupid. Like, you can watch the film and see these guys are doing stupid things. It was sloppy, undisciplined play, and that's coming from your head coach. It's not the referees, man.
Yeah, and sure,
play tight football."
In other games, some of those calls that were fouls wouldn't have been in other games, but they still were fouls.
Right. Hey, and Dennis brings up a good point. Agreed about the refs, but the officiating has been horrible this year. Even the announcers are saying it. I totally agree. That Chiefs and Chargers game, there was some bad calls. Easy, bad calls.
Yeah.
But it was consistent with bad calls
and they're
on both sides of the field.
I agree, and that game that you're talking about, Dennis, I do agree with that.
He didn't bring that up. I brought that up. But
you brought it. Okay, whatever. And I can't remember the exact plays, but there were two different plays on both sides of the ball where it seemed like they were trying to offset a bad call with another bad call for the other team. If you made a bad call, man, own it.
Right. I agree with that. Sorry, dude. I thought I saw something and it wasn't there, but play on.
Yeah. Don't just throw another flag for the other team to try and even it out.
Right.
I do agree that there have been some bad calls this year and more than in years past. But all I'm trying to say is the excuse of, the ref screwed us is not an excuse.
No.
Okay? Tighten your shit up and play football. Sorry for swearing, but I'm really emphatic about that point.
It's pretty annoying to see I'll read Facebook comments and stuff. Oh, the referees, I didn't know we had to play them this week too. No.
Yes, just stop
it. Stop it. Anyway.
And sorry to keep going back to the Seahawks, but it's just what we know the best.
What I was referring to, or what we were talking about before we got on that little tangent, which is always good. I like that. But
the wide receiver.
No. Son of a bitch. The wide receiver core. The Patriots, 10th straight, 110 straight. That's phenomenal. You hate the Patriots. You hate Tom Brady. You hate Bill Belichick. You hate Kyle Brady. You hate Gronkowski. You hate Philip Joan Edelman, whatever. Doesn't matter. Anybody on the Patriots, you can hate them. Even the kicker, the punter, the towel boy. It doesn't matter. That organization has been good for 10 years consistently. You can name them and say whatever you want. Even if that division that they're in is pretty lackluster, it's still impressive.
Oh,
and you got to give them
for
props.
sure.
Got to give them props.
Yeah, I mean, really. Okay. Yeah, they beat Seattle in the Super Bowl, and I'll never like them for that. The only team or the group of fans that really have anything to really be angry about the Patriots is Colts.
Really?
It's
true. Yeah, it's true. But,
Colts fans.
Here's one for you.
Yeah.
Packers came out to win 44-38 over the Jets. Big game for Aaron Rodgers, 442 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. The guy came out to play, but they're eliminated from the playoffs. Is he trying to prove a point that McCarthy should have been fired a while ago?
I think it is.
Yeah?
Honestly, I really do.
That's pretty brutal, dude. Damn.
And
hey, Seahawks fans. Well. Chiefs. Hey, man, Gary, thanks for showing up. Not sure why my Chiefs didn't destroy the Seahawks, but the rainy weather, the fans, and your team, I give you credit for a very good win over the Chiefs, but it won't happen again. Again, great game for the Hawks. Go Chiefs. Almost forgot that. Hey, man, I totally like it, dude. Other than the rain, we play out in Seattle. Like,
That's
it's
true.
rainy here. It's rainy here.
Well,
sucks for the Chiefs, though.
Yeah, hopefully all of the playoff games go through Arrowhead because the Chiefs have a super good postseason in Arrowhead.
No, they don't.
I was being facetious.
I know, I got that. The Eagles kept their playoff hopes alive with a win over the Texans. Zach Ertz has the most receptions for a tight end in a single season NFL history. Is Nick Foles the better option at quarterback over Carson Wentz?
I said this in the beginning of the year.
So did I, bro.
I think he is.
Yo, I'm telling you.
I think Nick Foles is the better quarterback.
Okay, before we dive too deep into it, check out the article that my boy Jake wrote on the Game Changer Sports Network. He wrote one about this on Christmas Day. Go read it. It's a good read. Basically, he says, because Wentz is the young stud, they got to mold around him, type of a thing. I get it. I understand. But were they starting Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre?
No.
Aaron Rodgers is just as good for the Packers as Brett Favre has been. You don't think so?
I don't know.
Numbers wise.
I don't know the numbers, so maybe not. I don't know.
Brett Favre
I'm not going to talk out of my ass and say that Aaron Rodgers is a way better quarterback.
I'm not saying that at all. No. I feel like as in watching Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre in my timeline, I've watched both of them play for the Packers.
Yes.
With Aaron Rodgers being there, being molded by Brett Favre. He definitely learned some stuff. I see Brett Favre in him. I'm not saying Brett Favre is better. Aaron Rodgers is better than Brett Favre, but I could see why Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre can be comparable.
Here, before we die here, your computer isn't plugged in or something. It probably needs to charge.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know off the top of my head
I'm not.
who.
The numbers aren't that crazy. We're not even Eagles fans. Brother and I were calling for Foles all season. Okay. Nick Foles is a Super Bowl MVP. Wentz is an NFL quarterback.
I agree, and that call confused me. It's like, man, Nick Foles took you to the playoffs.
No, Carson Wentz took the Eagles to the playoffs.
Yeah, but he was injured.
Nick Foles played through the playoffs,
but
got them to the Super
Nick
Bowl.
Foles played before Carson Wentz got hurt before the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Carson Wentz got so all of you can win 7,
but they could have been eliminated.
You can win 7 in 9 games, but Carson Wentz won enough to get them to the playoffs.
But they still could have been eliminated before or after Carson Wentz got injured.
Absolutely.
So Nick Foles kept them in the playoffs, went through the playoffs, and then beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Oh, stop. Don't say beat Tom Brady. No, he beat the Patriots.
Oh okay.
Don't say he beat Tom Brady.
All right.
Don't say that.
Okay, that's fair. So, but he still won the freaking Super Bowl.
Yes.
He was
against a phenomenal team.
Super Bowl.
And they were underrated team in comparison to Tom Brady and the Patriots. I get what you're saying. Understandable. But
why wouldn't you stick with that guy?
I would have too. I've liked Nick Foles since he was playing with Andy Reid. He was on the Eagles and then went somewhere else and then went back to the Eagles.
Actually, I think that happened a couple of times
But
I saw a thing where he was like talking about like he was going to quit football or something like that.
But he wanted to stick with Andy Reid. All right?
I don't know. That was long enough ago. I've lost the specifics.
So he went from Philadelphia to St. Louis, Kansas City. I wanted to say Kansas City, but I didn't want to sound like a jackass and be wrong. But yeah, because I watched him play while I was living in Kansas, but I didn't want to sound like a jackass and be wrong. But Nick Foles is and has always been a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And I was saying it when he was backing up Carson Wentz. I was like, this guy should be starting for like the Browns or something.
Yeah.
Why is Carson Wentz starting over it? I think Nick Foles is the better quarterback and needs to sit behind I said that wrong. I think Nick Foles is the better quarterback, and Carson Wentz needs to sit behind him and learn some stuff before he's starting.
Yeah, and if you want to do like not to keep bringing up the Seahawks, but if you want to do this whole running back by committee like the Seahawks have been doing, that's fine. What you can't do is sit there and play quarterback by committee.
No.
Like the Eagles or help me out here. The Bucs.
Oh, right. And you're totally right, and I can see that because they're doing that in Baltimore right now.
Yeah, but not
Joe Flacco is cleared to play.
Oh,
I'm just leaving that right there. I have to use the bathroom really bad. I've been trying to hold it. Can you stall for just a couple?
Sure. And then hopefully you can stall for me for a couple seconds. All right. Well, let's take a break from the NFL until Nick gets back. And I guess we could talk about LeBron James. Why not? He gets a groin injury that apparently he felt coming on and then has to leave the game. I haven't heard anything today. He's supposed to get an MRI on his groin. Oh, yeah. Jacksonville, yeah. But the Lakers upset The Warriors, let's see, I wrote it down. 127-101. I didn't watch that game. I just saw on MSN that LeBron got hurt. I thought it was be way more serious than that. But yeah.
It's unfortunate that he's not.
I agree.
I do not like LeBron James, and I like him watching him fail.
Me too. And yeah, when I read the headline, I thought it was going to be way more interesting.
Oh, when I saw MRI, I was like, ooh, baby, let's go.
Yeah, and then I heard that it was basically just like a deep tissue cramp or something like that. All right. You stole for a second.
They turned the air conditioning off, guys. LeBron had to leave in the middle of the game. Okay? He had a leg cramp. How long have you been growing out your mustache? Well, he will answer that when he comes back. I've been growing mine out. I think he's been growing his out for a little while. But, Blake Bortles should stay in Jacksonville. Is that what you're saying, Dennis? Because I don't know. Because if Nick Foles doesn't get a paycheck here, if I was Nick Foles, I'd be looking at trying to be the new face of another franchise. That's all I'm saying. But like I was saying, go check out that post on the Game Changer Sports Network. It is a pretty good article. It was posted by Jake. It's about Carson Wentz. It is about Nick Foles, and it is very entertaining. Man, this football season's coming up to an end, guys. We're going to start doing some more hockey, some more basketball when the season comes to a halt. But we're big football guys, so that's why we stick with the football. But we're sports fans in general, so we're going to be talking about all kinds of fancy-dancy stuff like rugby, some boxing, maybe some UFC.
Wrestling.
We'll talk about whatever we need to. Last words for me tonight, guys. Chiefs will not lose to the Raiders. Will not. If the Chargers lose, the Chiefs still have the first seed. We have a great evening and stay warm there. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Go Chiefs. Hey, Gary, thanks for stopping in.
Thanks, Gary.
Late on the Merry Christmas, but Merry Christmas to you as well. Happy New Year. And look forward to seeing how well the Chiefs do. I always have a soft spot for the Chiefs just because I went to Arrowhead multiple times while I was down there in the Army. So I always do enjoy watching the Chiefs do well, but not against the Seahawks. In a coffin. PJEs. Okay. Dang.
Thanks.
All right, so Aaron Donald set franchise record for the Rams in sacks at 19 and a half in a season over the win against the Cardinals. This guy's a beast, man. He's killing it. How do these guys have such good defensive linemen, man? How did they pull that off? The Rams were garbage like 3 years ago.
That's because they've drafted anybody that's good, and they've got a bunch of players. Sorry, I'm trying to fight the hiccups. The only thing that disappoints me about that, never mind. I'm not going to touch that yet. We can talk about that in a couple weeks when we run out of things to talk about.
All right. Broncos get the L against the Raiders. But the biggest story from there I saw was Marshawn Lynch was up there with the Al Davis torch. So you know how the Seahawks have like the 12th flag that they do?
Yeah.
They have the Al Davis torch that they light.
Okay.
Marshawn Lynch brought a freaking blunt. I was trying to reach up and light it.
No way.
Yeah. Look it up after the show, bro. I'm telling you, He was trying to light a blunt off
Was
of
Josh Gordon standing
Josh
next to him?
Gordon was standing next to him like, bro, let's go.
Like, pass.
No, for real though, Josh Gordon has some serious issues that he needs to work out.
Yeah.
And all jokes aside, I wish the best of luck to him because he's a phenomenal football player.
I really, really hope that he gets his stuff squared away and can come back. And
I always love watching that guy on the field.
Man, he is good.
He's got some serious stuff he's got to work out, and I really hope the best for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watch the replay of Super. Yeah, so they were tweeting out to each other. They were tweeting out to each other about how that was just them like joking around, and everybody took that out into offense. One of the questions were, while you were gone, was how long have you been growing out your mustache?
Oh, how long have I been growing it out, or how long have I had it?
How long have you been growing it out?
Well, sometimes I trim it back and what, so it's kind of hard to say. Right now, couple of months.
And then, second question, do you ever get top ramen stuck in it?
No. The only thing with my facial hair that I've ever had a problem with is I used to have a pretty substantial beard, and I eventually had to give up eating ice cream and also soup. Soup was hard. Just because I was also, doing that whole single life thing, so it was just kind of like bowl on chest and spoon to mouth, so beard was just always in the soup, and it was a whole thing.
Nick's
so now you know.
Boner in his khakis as well. I like it, Devin. He's talking about my pee spots. All right, so
I was trained not to piss in my pants, but
we get to the Hawks game, which is one of the biggest ones for me. Was they got the upset over one of the better teams in the league against a really high octane offense. I didn't give the Hawks defense enough credit, and Chaz says it the best. And Russ, I trust. It's playoff time. I'm very excited to see what they're about to do.
Yeah, and I think we've beat that horse.
Yeah. Just gonna
obviously we're Seattle fans, but
Larry Fitzgerald threw a touchdown and became the oldest wide receiver to throw a touchdown, and it was a beauty. It was pretty cool. Did you see it?
I did not. Like I said,
it was pretty sweet.
I was. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that Devin had my phone number, but all right. Yeah, go ahead. Give me a call anytime, Devin.
Yeah, go for it.
I even only got to see bits and pieces of the Seahawks game, so.
Okay. So we are popping up at an hour and 13 minutes.
Let's get right into our picks.
We're going to do our picks, and then we're going to close it out. You guys, I'm also going to go back and watch all of the film that we've done for the last 17 weeks.
Jesus.
And I'm going to seep through all of it, and I'm going to count our record out. And next week, after the final week of the season, I will let us know who had the better record. So best of luck to you.
Best of luck to you.
I hope the best for you.
I need to write that down because half the time I can't remember who I picked.
I was doing it the first 3 weeks of the season, the first 3 weeks that we were doing this, and I just got so busy that I was like, I don't have time to watch this over and over and over just to try and catch it. But I am going to dedicate myself some time to actually watch the film, find out our record, and let everyone know.
Honestly, if I'm over 500, I would.
I know because I did it the first 3 weeks that we didn't make picks the first week that we did this. I know we just talked not all of the games, but we talked about 3 or 4 games and just kind of like like it just started.
Well, I mean, we were still trying to figure it out.
So, but we will have at least 15 weeks of picks, and I will give us a record.
All right.
But first game of the week, Dolphins in Buffalo. Do you want to see the stats on this one?
No, I don't think I need to.
You don't think you need to? Who are you picking?
I'm going with the Bills on this one.
You going with the Bills? I'm
Yeah.
going with the Bills too, man. I like it.
I don't
in
like
Buffalo.
how the Dolphins have been playing the last couple of weeks, and the Bills have sort of been showing up, and it's in Buffalo.
I'm with it. What non-QB holds the record for most touchdown passes? Walter Payton. I'm not surprised by that.
Is there a freaking dog in my house?
I don't know.
was that?
It sounded like a dog, but I didn't want it. I was hoping you didn't hear it.
Well, it's unfortunate I got my good ear to it. So.
Lions will be playing the Packers.
The Lions.
You're picking the Lions?
I'm
picking the Packers. Picking the Packers, especially after the game they had last week.
I'm still going to go with the Lions.
Okay. Jaguars, Texans.
I'm going with Texans.
I'm going with the Texans also. Jets and Patriots. I'm going to pick the Jets solely on the fact that I feel that people will be benched in this game. That will make this...
Okay. Continue your thought.
That will make this a throwaway game for the Patriots that they don't care about. It doesn't matter what happens to them in this game. I'm taking the Jets. I'm taking the Jets. You're in Washington right now? Why didn't you tell us and we could have had you on the show?
Yeah, what the hell, man?
You're killing me right now, bro.
Well, hit us up and we'll go have a beer or something.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, where were we? Just Patriots.
Who else is playing this week? This might be a coin flip game. I like to do one of those.
Jets, Patriots, Panthers, Saints, Cowboys, Giants, Falcons, Bucks, Browns, Ravens. See anyone that's jumping out at you? I think that's a good one. I think that's a good one.
All right, I'll flip on. All right, so the Washington Training Academy, that'll be heads.
Shout out to those firefighters.
And that'll be the Patriots.
He says he's messing with us.
All right, so it's the Jets.
The Jets. All right, it's a clean sweep here. Panthers at Saints, taking New Orleans.
I'm also taking New Orleans. I think even with the Saints benching people, they're still going to beat the Panthers.
I think so too.
And since Cam Newton, is he not playing again this week?
Or he's out for the rest of the season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah. Saints are winning this one.
Saints, for sure.
Cowboys, Giants. I'm rooting for the Giants. I am picking the Giants.
I'm about it.
You're about it?
Yeah.
I can see the Giants winning this one. I can see it. I'm taking it.
And the Cowboys are already going to the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
actually, I don't think they've clinched. Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, they won the NFC South. Yeah. With
Washington losing.
Yeah. Back it up.
So,
Giants win this one.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they sit Elliott
and Dak.
Yeah.
Falcons, Bucks.
I'm taking the Bucks on that one.
I'll take the Bucks on that one too. Browns, Ravens. Dennis says the Browns. I like it. I'm gonna roll with it too.
Well,
But the Ravens' defense is way better
as
than
as much as
The
I've been
Ravens will
liking
win
what
this
I've
one.
seen from the Ravens the last couple weeks, most of the season actually.
the Ravens will win this one, dude. But I'm picking the Browns.
I always pick the Browns, so the Browns.
All right, Chiefs Raiders. Raiders just come off a big win off of Denver. Chiefs are coming off of a loss.
Yeah,
They could be benching some people.
I don't think they're going to, just because if they lose to the Raiders, and depending on another game, it does have
Playoffs.
some playoff implications for the Chiefs.
All right, I'm taking the Chiefs.
So I think that they're going to have their starting guys in for at least the first half.
This will be a game.
And because of that, I'm taking the Chiefs.
Okay. This will be a game to watch. The Bears versus the Vikings. That's a crucial. I'm taking the Bears.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Bears.
It is in Minnesota, but these guys are both like fighting for playoff contention, like spots and shit like that. So
even though I think it would be better for the Seahawks if
the Vikings won, but it don't.
But in terms of picking, I think the Bears are gonna win, and if it was my money, I'd put it on the Bears.
The Bengals versus the Steelers, and as far as I'm understanding, if the Steelers win this, they're in. If they lose, they're out. But Andy Dalton's out, Tyler Boyd's out,
I'm going with
AJ Green's out. I'm going with the Steelers as well. Eagles, Redskins. Eagles have to win this one to make the playoffs. Have to.
And that withstanding, I'd still pick the Eagles on that.
I'm taking the Eagles also.
They've been on a pretty good roll the last couple of weeks. And the Redskins, don't have a quarterback, really.
Chargers, Broncos. I'm going with the Chargers. Niners, Rams.
You know what? I'm actually going to go with the 49ers.
I'm going to pick the 49ers also. I think they're going to upset them. And I think the Rams are probably not going to play everybody.
And the Rams have, even if they have not been playing
very well. Nope. They're going to underestimate the 49ers.
I think they're going to do the same. They're going to fall in the same hole the Seahawks did, and think they're going to walk all over the 49ers.
Steelers need Baltimore to lose or they're out. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Dennis. Cardinals, Seahawks. I'm going to the game. I'm rooting for the Seahawks, but I'm picking the Cardinals just because if I pick the Cardinals, the Seahawks win. So
yeah. Same reason I picked the Dodgers in the World Series.
Go Cardinals.
Go Hawks.
Baltimore needs to lose. Baltimore wins and the Steelers win. Steelers are out. Sherman for 2 picks with that game. I like it. All right, last game in Nashville, Tennessee. The Colts versus the Titans.
I'm
taking the Colts.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts too.
Taking the Colts. Is that it? That's it?
No, that's it.
That's it. That's 1 hour, 23 minutes. All right, guys. The bat has been drawn. I emailed the person who won it. I'm waiting on a reply. Give it a little bit of time because he donated a pretty penny, and I want to make sure that I give him an opportunity to receive the bat and get the information, but he has not replied to me. So the bat has been picked. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I offered up a 9 signature baseball bat from Seattle Mariners players from past to past.
Is that Twitch? I always forget about you guys over there.
This isn't Twitch. This is Facebook this time.
Oh. Well, another Facebook.
We will not be back before the new year. So everyone, thank you so much for an awesome 2018.
Absolutely.
You guys gave us an awesome thing to do every week, and I cannot thank every single one of you guys down to his fiance, Chelsea, my fiance, Brittany, Justin coming in to helping us out, Jeff coming in to show up. Somebody who even just clicked on our show.
Dennis in the comments.
Devin in the comments. Devin from being on day one.
And
Chaz for popping in.
Chaz.
If you've even clicked on
Froglow.
our show.
Anybody.
Froglow, if you even clicked on our show and watched it for a second, thank you.
Absolutely.
You gave us
Thank
an
you.
awesome 2018. What a way to start the podcast. Everyone who supported us, we love it. We've been doing it for 17 weeks now, and I didn't think it was going to be as good as it is. Not that I think it's like phenomenal or anything right now.
Oh, no, it's great. It's the best.
We're the best podcast out there.
Yeah, it's huge. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. It's a big podcast. It's going to be big.
It's the best among podcasts.
I'm going to shut the government down so that our podcast can get bigger. Yeah, but seriously, I'm so shocked that we've gotten to where we're at already. And,
Yeah.
it's because of every one of you guys.
Absolutely.
Twitch, you're not here today. Game Changer Sports Network, NFL Addictions, anybody who's on our Talk Interference Sports, people who are on Instagram that follow us, Twitter, Facebook, everything. Thank you guys. And we have all those things. If you don't follow us there, follow us.
You should.
It's big. Big. It's been 17 weeks, and it's been awesome. And here's to an awesome 2018 that we had here at Talk Interference Sports. Happy late holidays. Happy future 2019. And I hope your guys' 2018 was awesome. And I hope our 2019 is awesome as well as yours. Here's to a full year of Talk Interference Sports. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you later.